A lot of African Americans don't want to get married. And I don't know if that is just because they're African American women. I mean, the culture is different. Apparently, they're very strong as women, not necessarily respectful, not submissive. And, many Americans are coming to Africa looking to find wives. I mean, I went to Ghana myself and I saw many African Americans. I saw at least 2 marriages, African American coming to marry a Ghanaian woman. Now, the question is, are they going to be compatible? Because Ghanaian woman is probably softer than the African American woman in the beginning until she realizes you're not treating her nice. Then she's going to change. Women are different, but they're the same. They want the same nice treatment. You can't just expect somebody to be submissive if you're not responsible, if you're not trustworthy, if you're not a leader. You need to be giving to receive, right? Okay, so this is crazy. I don't know. There was a story, very dark story of a Zimbabwean man that unalived his girlfriend in South Africa after she ate all the money that he was saving for their lobola. You heard of that story?
For the dowry.
Yeah, the dowry for our people. Lobola is dowry, okay? So the man, 49 years old, said he was really pissed off by his girlfriend because she used the money that he had put together for them to get married. Do you hear about that story? Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think of that story?
So I think this is a gruesome situation because nothing can justify, to end somebody's life because of money.
It's crazy, yeah?
Lobola. So meaning, maybe the guy was not in love. I know, since our childhood.
Well, maybe the man felt betrayed,
We used to steal money from our father, but they never kill us.
But that's your father, my man. What you mean? Your father can never kill you for nothing.
Yeah, but they say you're woman, you become one.
No, there is a say in my people. My people say this.
Yeah.
My father always said that. He said, if your child burns the house, do you take your child and throw him in the house so he can burn with the house?
Yeah, but that woman, she's the one who made
you don't do that.
Your father.
No. You think a woman can be closer to you than your father and your mother?
I'm not sure, but as far as I know, there's nothing can justify what that guy did.
Okay, but there's nothing that justify you saying that your woman can be closer to you than your father and your mother. Let's read about this. They say a Zimbabwean man sentenced to life. He's been sentenced to life for unaliving a South African girlfriend after she spent the money he had been saving to pay lobola for her. So for context, lobola is a dowry. Yes, in most African countries. Actually, I think every African black country, you have to go pay a certain amount of things before you get the woman. It's not like in America or elsewhere where you could just say to your girlfriend, come over, let's stay together. There's no such thing as staying together. I mean, right?
Yeah, but the first mistake the guy is to give the woman the money to keep. You can't give a woman to keep your money for dowry.
No, I get that, but they say the reason why she kept the money is because the guy
doesn't have a bank account.
He doesn't have a bank account.
Or he's illegal in South Africa.
He's an illegal immigrant.
So these are the things we are dealing on daily basis. So, and then when South Africa will get angry about this and to say there's a no, because you are illegal in the country. Of course, even though you are illegal in the country, there's other way you can keep money.
Come on.
Before bank was not existing, and our forefather was keeping money.
Maybe the guy felt like he couldn't keep money that way, so that's why the best way.
How much was that money? So that's the thing.
It was about 15,000 rand. 15,000 rand in dollars. How much is that? Just check that for us.
That's a coward. That's a half man. A real man can't do that.
You don't think he felt betrayed? I mean, this is a woman you've been planning with.
That's what I was saying. Nothing can justify what he did.
Absolutely, nothing justifies what he did.
Even though it was $1 million of rand which was taken from.
But does something justify what she did?
Of course, me I can do that because as a man, even though they have a bank account, you can't give a woman to keep the money. That's the only mistake. Not only for the dowry, even your own money. You can't give your woman to keep your own money. It's like your salary. I don't have a bank account to keep this money.
I mean, you just the guy 5 minutes ago who say you can trust your woman better than you trust your parents. Now you saying you can't give your woman money. Please tell us. Oh no, you're laughing. You see, I got him. He just said a few minutes ago, you're gonna be one person, you with a woman. Now all of a sudden say you can't trust a woman with money. Well, if you marry a woman, can you trust her then with your money? Or
so
women?
What I can do, what I can say in a nutshell, whether it's your woman, your friend, your family, those are the people who cannot give them your money to keep. You end up in this situation.
Okay, so for context, the guy did not have an access to a bank account because he was illegal. And illegal immigrants from Zimbabwe, there are many of them in South Africa. And because he couldn't get a bank account, he probably, made a choice to keep the money into the woman's bank account. And he put the money in the bank account, hoping that they're gonna get married together because the money was growing. The hope is, let me get enough money so I can go pay the dowry. Now, the dowry is very diverse from one side of Africa to the other. To some side of Africa, they give cows, like numerous cows. They will give gifts. So basically, it was supposed to be just symbolic, just giving things like machetes, like a broom, like a bucket, baskets, stuff like that. Some clothes for the mother, shoes and stuff like that. But, some people make it financial. Because in some places, for instance, now the prices of the woman will change depending on what she achieved. Okay, if she was, she's a doctor, the price goes up. She finished university, the price goes up. If she doesn't have a child, a single woman, the price goes up. Or she's lectured, she's got her own house, her own car. So that's what makes it also, I believe, very difficult for many of the women in Southern Africa to get married or find a potential, a dignified. Probable husband, because the price goes up. You have to pay up to like so much. How much money can some people pay sometimes?
It depends on the culture.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take it this way.
Yeah.
So you are planning to marry this particular woman. Then she hid that money. So why you should be angry? So you say, okay, this is the man supposed to pay lobola. Since you misuse this money, so this is my lobola. Let's go to the family and discuss.
Let's go to the family and discuss.
Yes,
discuss what?
There's a money I gave you for the lobola. Then you misuse the money. So now, since I want to honor you, let's go to a family and say, okay, this is what's happening. I was giving my girlfriend to give me this money. Then she hid the money. Maybe they can solve the situation rather than unaliving the woman.
So what solution are you going to find if you go to the woman's place after she ate the money?
And you say, I won't give the money anymore. The money I'm supposed to give you guys. Your daughter misuse that money.
Yeah, so why would you want to marry somebody that doesn't love you? Because if she's going to spend the money that you gave her for lobola, clearly she doesn't love you. Because a woman that truly loves you will guard that money with all she has. Don't you agree?
I agree, but unfortunately, those are things which can happen in life.
Well, that's very sad because, this reinforces the feeling of many South Africans, like you say, that feels like Zimbabweans come to the country and create mayhem. You see a lot of situations like this. It's very difficult, my Zimbabwean people, to defend you guys because when South Africans say, Abahambe, you must go back to your country.
Do you understand? Zimbabweans are roaming around Deep Sloot as they please.
So you only want Zimbabweans to leave, just Zimbabwe?
Are you deaf? That is what we are saying, Chief. We want Zimbabweans to leave. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. They must leave.
We have cases like this. So the man is being sentenced to life imprisonment, for
South Africa,
yes, for unaliving this girlfriend and stuff. Yeah, women are special human beings, eh? You can be with a woman, you sleep with her every single night, and she doesn't even love you. You have no idea, and that's very sad.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a situation which always we can find ourselves, but there's nothing we can do about it. You can't control it.
That's very sad.
So meaning maybe living with women is a risk, and you must take that risk. It's like flying the aeroplane. So when you enter the aeroplane can fall down, so it's a risk.
Being with a woman is like flying an aeroplane.
Yes.
You must be scared. A lot of African Americans don't want to get married. And I don't know if that is just because they're African American women. The culture is different. Apparently, they're very strong as women, not necessarily respectful, not submissive. And, many Americans are coming to Africa looking to find wives. I went to Ghana myself and I saw many African Americans. I saw at least 2 marriages, African American coming to marry a Ghanaian woman. Now, the question is, are they going to be compatible? Because Ghanaian woman is probably softer than the African American woman in the beginning until she realized you're not treating her nice. Then she's going to change. Women are different, but they're the same. They want the same nice treatment. You can't just expect somebody to be submissive if you're not responsible, if you're not trustworthy, if you're not a leader. You need to be giving to receive, right? So you were telling me the story about Benin. You said Benin is getting many African Americans.
Yeah, descendants. So they are getting many Afro descendants to be naturalized. So which is a good move. I applaud that.
Okay.
Nevertheless,
do we applaud that? Yeah, congratulations to Benin.
Nevertheless, that should apply also for those who are living already in the continent. You understand? If you are willing to give nationality
Yeah.
to somebody from America, solely because a black American, which never been in Africa, while your neighbor, when they came, you can't get them the same privilege. So that way, I can see some things wrong on that.
Okay,
So what the motive behind
are you happy that African Americans are getting citizenship to Africa, or are you using this as a platform to revindicate your need for Africans to get
very
Beninese
happy
papers?
for them to do that. However, that spirit should apply for even those who are living already in the continent.
Okay,
According to
let me restart. Are you happy for African Americans to get papers?
Yes,
in
I'm
Africa?
very happy.
Okay, so why don't you voice that first? You just sound like you bitter.
Okay.
Why Africans Americans are getting the papers and now Africans in the continent? I mean, if Africans in the continent told you they wanted to get a passport from Benin, I mean, many African Americans want to come to Africa and stay legally. Some relocate to Ghana. I mean, Ghana had a program, I believe, the year of the return or something like that, where many African Americans came back to Ghana. Many found homes, many are happy.
And you know why men are going to Ghana?
Yeah,
Because, as you said, Ghanaian people have a good hospitality.
absolutely. I mean, they did that, but that is one thing. Now, you saying that they must do the same for Africans, I don't understand. Please explain that.
Yeah, they must do the same for African to show that it's a really solidarity. Because you cannot just do that for some other people who are coming from other continents, although they are our brothers, while those who are living already there, they don't have that privilege
What privilege?
of having nationality. I can be happy today to be a South African or to be someone from Morocco or Cameroon, so that whenever you go, you find yourself, you are free.
Well-
no visa issue and stuff like that.
Well, can a country target specific people they want to have as their nationals without you feeling bitter about that? Can a country choose people they want to give nationality without you being unhappy about it? Why do you feel like you're being left out by Benin because Benin chooses African Americans or Ghana chooses African Americans? Maybe they want to give them an opportunity to come back to their ancestors. Do you need to see your ancestors in Benin? I thought your ancestors were somewhere in Central Africa. Like, I don't understand why you be.
So maybe it's to entice their feelings, as you say, the curiosity for them to come back.
That just feels like some Africans that want to leave their countries go to other people's country and want to feel loved, even though they don't want to change, they don't want to integrate into the society. I think Benin has the right to choose who they want to have. I can agree with you. What I can agree to, fellas, again, is Africans should be open. Africa should be open for Africans. I do agree with the idea of a borderless Africa, but that is controlled. Okay? Because, I know stereotypes are not nice. Not everybody's a drug dealer. Not everybody's a card, whatever. But there must be scrutiny. Okay? There must be a level of control, because then people leave one country and do mayhem to another country. And that's not nice. I think the people that do mayhem should be punished in the harshest way possible so that everybody can see.
Yeah, maybe the motive behind that is what Afro-American descendants did to Africa. And now it's very unfortunate. In America, we don't have people like Malcolm X, like Martin Luther King, you understand? So you remember on those days, Malcolm X was, as a civil rights person, was championing the well-being of African.
Yeah, it was a Pan-Africanist.
Yeah, he even named his daughter after Lumumba.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Yeah.
So why today in America we don't have like people who are in the same mindset of Malcolm X?
And that's very interesting, because Lumumba was a great man of Africa. He fought for the Congolese people in Central Africa. Lumumba was taken away when he confronted the Belgian king. The Belgian king was saying on the Independence Day, we finally gave you independence on a meeting. Like we have decided to give you independence. Now you can go for free and do your own things. In 1960, Lumumba rewrote the speech right there, and he took the microphone. He said, no, you did not give us independence. We fought for our independence with blood and tears. We were beaten up. We were humiliated. We were taken away from our families. And that shocked the king of the Belgians. And that was the beginning. And later on, unfortunately, guess who took him out? His very good friend. His very good friend, he took it into politics. Somebody he taught how to do things. That was the person that they gave $250,000. That's a declassified document from the CIA recently. They gave Mobutu $250,000 to unalive Lumumba.
Yeah, that's why they say a black person who's been taught to hate each other, one another.
It's very sad. I mean, Lumumba was fighting for the Africans. We need to be free. We need to have our country. We need to rule ourselves. And Mobutu, which is the guy that he taught politics, he invested into him, received $250,000 to unalive him. Then unalived him. And said, now look at the state of the Congo now. Sad situation.
Richest country in the world, the planet.
Richest country?
The planet.
In terms of what?
To minerals.
Yeah, minerals, but how is the lifestyle of people?
That's the things.
That's very sad. So talking about the African Americans, I think there's something very interesting we need to mention. Back in time, in Liberia, when it was the end of slavery, they took African Americans that were slave and African Americans that were born free, and they relocated them back to Africa. Okay, when they took them back to Africa, that was done by the President of America, James Monroe. James Monroe supported the idea of freeing slaves. When they freed the slaves and sent them to Africa, they took them to what you call today Liberia. And Liberia means a free land. Okay? So African Americans came to Africa to stay in Liberia. When they got to Liberia, they met with Liberian locals. You know? So when they met with locals, it was very difficult for them to get along.
That's why Mwekassa song Liberian girl.
Yes, maybe that, but it has nothing to do with that. But anyway, so they came with the locals. There was problems. Now, according to history, the African American that came to Africa perceived themselves as superior to the local black people, and the place, you know, they had more colonies, and then it became a country. When it became a country, there was an African American that was the first president. Then African Americans continued to be president while the Liberians were frustrated. At a certain moment, the country was led by William Tubman, who was a descendant of African Americans that was leading Liberia. Unfortunately, because of the resentment, eventually in the 1990s, there was an issue. There was civil war that started. And that's why Liberia got into trouble because of African Americans and Africans. But later on, there was then, they're trying to find a way to understand each other. The first woman president, whose name is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, became the first African female president that was in Liberia. Then she put a lot of pressure into reconciliation among African Americans and locals. And my hope is that something like that never ever happens again.
Me, I never been in America. I know you've been there already. So now there's something which comes in mind. So how is Black American are treating other African who visit America? Because I can see in Africa, when you saw a Black American, you have that feeling of sympathy, of togetherness. You understand? You say, this is my brother. And whenever they go, wherever they feel safe. So I don't know if the same happened in America.
It's very interesting. I think my experience in America was a very, very good one, very diverse one.
Okay.
I've met people that were extremely nice to me.
Okay.
And I've met people that were very funny, making a funny comment. Oh, you cleaned up. Oh, you don't look like that. I have a very strong personality. And I was like, what do you mean? Straight. So, oh, sorry. I'm just playing. I'm just playing with you. Some people look at you funny. He's African. They expect you to be stupid. But yeah, you get that everywhere in the world. You everywhere you go in the world, you find good people and bad people. Yeah. African Americans come to Africa. Some have a tremendous experience. Some complain about what they see here because what they see in some cases is in some African countries, when you go and you look like you have money, the prices go up. So if you ask for a taxi that costs, let's say, $10, if it's you, they're going to ask you for $50 because you look like you have money. If you want to buy Apple that costs $1, because it's you speak African-American English and you look like money, they're probably going to ask you for $6 compared to the local. Now, many African-Americans were very frustrated about that. They felt that they were being targeted, and stuff. But I wanted to explain that it's not just African-American that live that. Even me, if I go to the next African country, and I speak English and they hear my accent is different, the price goes up.
Yes.
And some people, you see people online complaining, my experience in Africa is really bad. They want to extort you. They want money from you. They do that even with the locals. Like I walk in the street with money in my pocket. I know they're going to ask me. It has nothing to do with nothing. So my take to African Americans, I think you find some very good people and you find some absolutely stupid people.
So maybe the moral
same as everywhere
is when you went to any country, you must play a low profile. In order to be integrated, you must play a low profile. I remember in South Africa, there used to be a Black American. The guys used to have money, but you can't know that they have money because the girlfriend used to have a small restaurant in the corner.
Yeah.
And the guy was cooking alongside with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it was familiarizing with everybody. You put the internet cafe, you spoke. So the guy was very integrated.
You must learn how to integrate. I mean, there's one African American that does it really well. We are currently in Uganda. His name is O'Shea Duke Jackson. I mean, if you look at the guy, he looks Muganda.
Yeah.
He has nothing African
He
American.
likes Africa too much.
You know what?
It's like he likes Africa too much.
He likes Africa a lot. He's got nothing African American unless he speaks out. Then you're like, oh, okay. He looks like a Muganda guy who went to America for 2 or 3 years and came back. So integrating society is a good thing. That's what it is. Now we're going to Kenya. Okay, so in Kenya, something very drastic happened. There's a story, I think this happened quite a time ago, but I think it's very interesting to look into this. There was a situation where the government was going to give a lease to an Indian company to run Jomo Kenyatta, which is the biggest airport in Kenya.
Okay.
So the Indian company was going to give the government about $2 billion to overtake the airport, the biggest one, for 30 years. So government would have nothing to say about the airport. Nothing to say what's operation going to be done there. So in other words, you're selling that land to a different country, for 30 years. What do you think about that? Many Kenyans were very, very angry about that. What do you think
many
about
Kenyans were very angry. I think they should blame their government because I can't come to your house when your house is clean. And I said to you, I'm asking this house. For me to tell you that, I must make sure that your house is dirty. So meaning for the Indian to come to Kenya and pretending to invest, so meaning the airport maybe was in a bad conditions.
Yeah.
And for them, it's a good investment because when somebody came, they cannot take that airport and fly it with them to India. They can send the lease as many as they want, and eventually Kenyan people will worry because there will be nice navigating of the airport and stuff like that. So for me, Kenyan people don't have the right to be angry about it.
No, I mean, look, you sound like you've never seen what the Chinese have done to some country, like in Sri Lanka. China has taken the airport of Sri Lanka for 100 years.
Okay.
Sri Lanka has no access to its airport. Why? Because Sri Lanka borrowed money from China and they were unable to pay. So international affairs, you need to respect. They can bring weapons and guns and stuff and create war. If you play with, this is billions of dollars. Yes, right now, there's an airport that belongs to Sri Lanka that's now within the hand of Chinese. You know what I mean? So if you know how the Indians operate.
Yes.
When Indians come to Africa, they hire Indians. Indians company, I mean, there are plenty of Indians in Africa. There's especially a lot of Indians in East Africa. How did they get there? They came when, back in time, the colonialists wanted to build a railroad from Mombasa to Kampala. Mombasa is Kenya, Kampala is Uganda. Now, the goal was to build a railroad. I don't know what they were trying to loot. They were trying to steal minerals or whatever. I don't know why they did not bring the black people to build the railroad. They chose to go get Indians from India. Maybe they thought black people were too stupid to do. The Indians were brought into East Africa with the goal of, building. But then when they built the railroad, after that, some Indians left Africa. Some Indians stayed. They remained. You find many of them in Kenya, many of them in Uganda. But if you see how Indian operates, they have good businesses, some of the best businesses in East Africa. But they will have the manager is Indian, the after manager is Indian, the third manager is Indian, the director of operation is Indian. Only maybe the security guard is black or the cleaners. That's how they operate. So if the Indian took the Nairobi airport, there will be no jobs because their goal was to reduce the number of people working.
Yeah, I think that is behavior of people from Asia because Chinese are very wealthy.
Yeah.
Chinese, when they get contract to build roads, even the person who carry wheelbarrow is a Chinese guy. Even the local people cannot get that job, a small job, even sweeping the road. So meaning they are getting everything. So meaning they came to take all the money. That's the thing about Chinese.
Yeah. But Chinese are building. They're effective though.
You understand?
It's crazy. So another thing is, I don't know if Kenya's issue is it the president? Is it the government? I don't know. I mean, they say Kenya has plunged into the latest ranking of how open to its visitors from other African countries. So Kenya used to be number 17 in Africa. Now it's dropped to number 46 out of 54 nations. Why? Because you remember last year, William Ruto, was highly praised for his move when he announced that Kenya would drop the visa requirement for all visitors in the continent. You know, he said, you want to come to Kenya, you can come anytime, there's no problem. You don't need a visa, you just walk in.
Beginning January 2024, Kenya will be a visa-free country.
But then later on, he replaced the visa with what he called ATA or something. The travelers now need to apply online for authorization before leaving the country, which some have criticized as a visa under another name. So initially it was, you can come with no visa. That's what he said. People applauded him and said, oh, this guy is amazing. But then it was, no, before you come, you still need to announce yourself online, send your details, and make a payment of $30, I believe. Then they will respond to you like 2 or 3 days later before you come in. So it has made things much more difficult, even for people who used to come there with no visas before. And now, Kenya used to be number 17th out of 46 countries in openness, you know, tourism and all that stuff. Now it's dropped to number 46. It used to be number 17 out of 54 countries, but now it has dropped to 46, number 46.
Yeah, maybe it's based on governance. You can see recently there were some riots in Kenya. And also that move was very dangerous because you cannot give over your airport to strangers, to foreigners. Because airport is the first port of entry of the strategic issue for the country. So once you hand it over to foreigners, so you jeopardize your security and many things can happen.
What do you think of Ruto?
They can overthrow you. And
what do you think of Ruto? Do you think Ruto is working for the interests of Africans or Ruto?
I can't say that because I've never been in Kenya. I know only the airport. But as far as things happening in Central Africa, so it's like the guy is not, in Eastern Africa, it's like the guy is not doing well, unlike with the predecessor.
Do you think Ruto is behaving in a way that Western nations are happy? They're happy, they're clapping for him. I mean, Ruto that used to speak before he was president is not the Ruto we're seeing right now. The Ruto we spoke before was like, Africa doesn't need dollars anymore.
Why, members? Why is it necessary for us to buy things from Djibouti and pay in dollars? Why? There is no reason. And we are not against the US dollar. We just want to trade much more freely. Let us pay in US dollars what we are buying from the US. But what we are buying from Djibouti, let's use local currency.
Now that speech is gone. He doesn't talk about that anymore. It's finished. Now the Kenyan soldiers are in Haiti trying to fight a fight that America doesn't want to fight itself. Because America doesn't want to look like it's, you know, all over the place, the police of the world. Let's send them some Africans so it could look like black people with black people. And Kenya accepted that through Ruto.